Like, he literally gets up in his
Fucking
face.
puts him
and
in a
Does that
headlock.
make you angry? You fucking nerd.
Puts him in a headlock, gives him a noogie. Yeah,
Say Galavar. No. Say Galavar. No. That was my filthy beast name.
You like being called Galavar, don't you? No! Say you like it. Say you like it, you little bitch. You like being called Galavar. Okay. Yes. Yes. Yes.
The old Megatron's back. Yeah.
Beast mode.
Too much energy. Yes. 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 Oh, yes. Yes.
Greetings, Viacon Generals. Welcome to episode 52 of Too Much ENERGON, the Lasercomb podcast where we talk about Beast Wars shit and talk shit about Beast Wars. I'm one of your hosts, Christopher Siege.
I'm your other host, NeoCal.
What is going on this week, Cal?
Oh, getting ready to move, but also for the first time in my life, I took a straight razor and went right down to the skin when I shaved my head after I used clippers, and it's weird. It's like
Shit.
weird touching the back of my head and there's just skin instead of like prickly, like shaved hair.
So you use
Weird,
an
man,
actual
it's
straight
weird.
razor, not just like a Gillette Mach 5.
Oh, none of that. Full Vin Diesel and Pitch Black. You know, just used a sharp piece of metal and raked it across my flesh like a real man.
No, what you should have done is like taken your like curved dagger and use that to like
Yeah,
shave your head.
exactly.
I also shaved the sides of my head today too, which I will display.
Audio
I know.
listeners are missing out on the shaved heads. Oh, very, very down there.
I did not take any kind of straight razor or Gillette, not even a Bic razor. No. I just use
Nope.
clippers with no guard on them.
No guard, like the true mad lad.
Like a truly crazy person. Yeah, it works just fine.
I'm afraid to try that.
I don't recommend trying it on certain other parts of your body, however. No.
Hmm. Noted.
I may be speaking from experience, and things may have gone awry. Yes.
Things may never be as they once were. Much
Speaking
like
of the-
Cybertron.
Speaking of the way things once were, I got my hands last weekend on a reissue of the original Beast Wars Cheetor figure.
Amazing.
In fact, I found two, and I bought both of them. One so I could leave in the package,
Ah,
and the other so I could open up and play with.
there he is, folks. OG Cheetor.
Yeah, for the audio listeners, I am holding it up to the camera.
Wow.
And now they get to stand beside one another. I posted a picture on Instagram, and Twitter. So if you're following me on social media, you would have already seen it. But I posted a picture of the reissue of OG Cheetor with the Kingdom Cheetor with the Red Series non-transforming Cheetor action figure, and I captioned it, "Cheetor, what have you done?"
Cheetor, what have you done? I don't know why that's so funny. We have quotes of the show that are funnier of the podcast that are funnier to us than quotes from the actual show that we're watching.
Very, very much so, yeah. Like, that line is only, like, so funny because of the voice that I did, but then the way what you followed it up with, you were like, "What have you done, son?" Oh, man. We're at a point in this show now, at 52 episodes, so we're at a point in this, podcast now where we've just become, like, self-referential.
Yeah,
We're like
we
we're like
reached
fa
critical mass.
we're
There's no
like
going back.
we're like Family Guy, but we're actually funny. We're
Yeah,
not we're not,
not
Stephen Colbert funny or anything.
we're not Stephen Colbert funny. Hold your horses, okay? We're not Stephen Colbert funny, but
Uh,
we're
if anyone's wondering, because I don't
we've
think we've
never
ever
explained that,
I,
have
I
we?
don't I don't think we've ever actually brought it up on air, but we had a guest on the show once. I'm not going to say who it was, but we had a guest on the show once who off my after a recording had stopped, mentioned that they thought that for a couple of regular ordinary guys we were pretty funny, but we weren't Stephen Colbert funny or anything, because apparently that was
That's
that's
the
the
gold standard.
yeah, that's the gold standard. That's the mountain that cannot be climbed. The mountain peak that cannot be reached.
I don't wanna like shatter his like hopes and like dreams and his ideology, but like is he aware that like there's like 5 or 6 writers for the show
Yeah,
that is the Stephen Colbert Report?
yeah,
Like it's not a one-man show.
no.
He's not a stand-up comedian. But hey, he's got his monologues. Those are a chuckle.
I actually saw Stephen Colbert live in person back
Oh.
during the 2010 Vancouver Olympics. He
Oh, right.
he did a segment of his show. Actually, it was like one thing, but it ended up being like segments for like all four, like the entire week's worth of shows of the Colbert Report.
Right.
This was back 2010, like I was
Is
saying,
that when he sung like the Canadian anthem in the tune of the American anthem?
with Michael Bublé. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I was there that day when all that was being shot.
Wow.
Um, yeah, and it was a free show. He was just in a pub. He set up a stage in a public park in Vancouver, and so like anyone could show up for free and watch.
Who would have thought?
Yeah,
Yeah, it
it's
was singing, or was it singing the American anthem in the tune of the Canadian anthem?
they did both.
Oh, did
I
they
don't
do
know if
both?
both of them actually ended up airing on TV, but they did both.
That's kind of amazing. Yeah, I remember that. It
Yeah,
was funny.
I think Michael Bublé sang in French at one point too.
Oh,
I think he sang the Star Spangled Banner in French.
oh, heresy. And then now we need to get Shakira to sing it in Spanish and absolutely outrage
And get
red-blooded Americans.
uh I'm trying to think of
Celine Dion?
I'm trying to think of like a famous like German singer.
Oh yeah, good luck with that.
Let's
The
get
lady that's on 99.
Let's get Till Lindemann of Rammstein to
Oh,
sing the Star Spangled Banner in German.
I kind of want.
I kind of want to
That,
hear that now.
maybe that already exists. It must. That
Maybe.
seems like a Rammstein thing.
Yeah. He had he has a side project with Peter Tatgren of metal bands Pain and Hypocrisy. I think they released 2 albums. The first one was like straight up sounded like a Pain album, so it was this like very like late 90s, early 2000s sounding industrial album, but
Right.
with the Rammstein guy singing in English.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Um yeah, I think it was just called Lindemann. Anyway,
Oh,
that's
that's as
that's
close as
beside
we'll get.
that's as close as we'll get, and that's besides the point. Another Beast Wars related thing that I got. I meant to talk about this last week, but there was a Kickstarter for Beast Warriors enamel pins months and months and months ago. And I ended up getting Transmetal Cheetor.
Oh, you got Trent. Oh, right. Is that's the same guys that because I have a Cheetor pin that you gave me.
I think I gave you a Tigatron.
Or sorry, or was it both? It was definitely at least Tigatron, now that I'm thinking about it.
Because I have Cheetor.
Right. And I'm assuming it's by the same people, but they did a Transmetal run and they got backed.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah.
Weird that this stuff is happening like post 2020. Like they can get enough funding for that.
I know, right? I also the Kickstarter was for 2 pins. That was the one that I picked. I got another one in the mail. It is an unpainted Transmetal Megatron. This isn't the one that I ordered.
Oh.
Yeah, I actually I ordered, as for my second one, I ordered a Scorponok and I was going to give it to you. He ended up sending me
unpainted.
I got an unpainted Transmetal Megatron. No.
Huh.
Yeah. I don't know. Also came with some stickers too.
I see. I see. What's Transmutate there? Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a there's a Quick Strike and a Transmetal Dinobot.
Okay.
And yeah, whatever. Anyway.
Like Quick Strike, disgusting.
Yeah, get it.
Why would anyone want that?
No one would. No.
What does he lend to the show, really?
I also got a random text message from my my estranged father a couple of days ago. Or actually, not a text message, a message on Facebook, being like, "Hey, I'm on the island. Would you want to hang out tomorrow?" And this was on Wednesday, and I'm like, "Well, on Thursday I don't get home until 4:00, and then I record too much ENERGON, so no." And he's like, "Well, what about the next day?" And I'm like, "Well, I record another podcast the next day too, so I can delay that start time if we like, as long as I know like when you're going to be down here." And he's like, "Oh, okay, well, I'll text you on Friday when we're on our way then." And I'm like, I need to know like a time of when you're coming.
Sorry, I thought I had something.
I was gonna say, what is going on over there?
My mouth there. Yeah. Damn it. What is it's this. It's all of this.
Yeah, for the audio listeners, like Cal is having like some kind of seizure or something. No, he's like
feeling where you feel like
you
got a hair in the back of your throat.
Yeah.
And I'm like being a cat right now trying to get it. No, yeah, I have a lot of like family that's like they live loose and fast and they're like, "Oh, I don't know, we're going to come like Friday, Saturday." And I'm like, "You're coming Friday and Saturday?" "Oh, we don't know yet." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, well, I got shit. So like tell me what day." "Oh, well, if you're going to make a big deal about it, then never mind." Okay. Then I don't see them.
Yeah, for the listeners, without going too much into it, my father is kind of like the Tripredicus Council in Beast Wars. You see them once or twice, and they seem kind of interesting, but then you find out that all they were saying was a bunch of bullshit, and we never see or hear from them again. No.
Calabar was my slave name. You can call me after my namesake, Megatron.
Shout out to my father and the Tripredicus Council.
Mostly the Tripredicus.
Mostly the Tripredicus Council.
If anybody's wondering what the hell I was talking about with Galavar and his slave name and
oh yeah.
right. The Galavar is Beast Wars Megatron's like real name. Like Optimus Prime's real name is why do I always forget?
Orion Pax.
Yeah, so I guess it's Galavar. So we actually have a monthly spin-off of this show called Too Much Galavar. And every month we review we review the what is it, IDW?
Yeah, IDW.
Yeah, the comic run. And yeah, they're coming out monthly. So if you want to toss us some Patreon monies so we can buy these things and read them and get back to you, yeah, we have that on Patreon.
Toss a coin to your Beast Warrior.
Yeah. I was trying to think of how I could like sing the next part of that verse, but I got nothing.
Yeah, I also kind of want to try and, because there were back in 2006 for the 10th anniversary of Beast Wars, IDW put out 2 4-issue Beast Wars miniseries that were actually in canon with the show. And they were written by the guy who wrote the final episode of Beast Wars, Nemesis.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. The first one was called Beast Wars: The Ascension, which I did read back in the day, and I think the next one was called Beast Wars: The Gathering. I kind of want to track
My
those
favorite
down.
card game.
I kind of want to track. I think they're out of print now, so it might be a little difficult. But I kind of want to try and track those down and maybe talk about them at some point on either on this or on a Patreon show.
That would be kind of cool. If we could
Yeah.
find them. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
maybe I can find digital versions through completely legal means.
Completely legal means. Yes.
Yeah. They're not,
Yes.
weirdly enough, they're not even on Comixology.
It's a little weird.
Yeah.
Do they not have like a back catalog of like 90s and 2000s stuff?
Comixology or in general or IDW?
Comixology.
Oh yeah, they have shit going way back.
Oh. Huh. I guess Beast Wars isn't cool enough for them.
No, it's because the Beast Wars are over. Garry Primal, yes, you lost.
You lost. I won.
Suck
I'm not
it.
going to explain how. I hope you watched the movie Lawnmower Man, Primal.
Yeah. So
There's some nightmarish shit in this episode, man.
we're gonna get into talking about that episode in in just a minute here. But first, here's a word about our Patreon. Do you want to hear more Lasercomb content each and every week? Is one episode each of Too Much Energon or Alphanumeric simply not enough? Then boy do I have a solution for you. Go to patreon.com/lasercomb, LAZORCOMB. We're starting at a mere $5 per month. You get literal hours of bonus preamble audio each and every week, access to the Lasercomb Discord, monthly shoutouts, and more. At the $10 and up tier, you get our weekly weird news show Lasercomb Tonight, as well as our Too Much Energon spin-off Too Much Galavar, where we talk about the monthly IDW 2021 Beast Wars comic book. Yeah! At the $25 tier, you get all of that, plus our monthly Too Much commentary track, a free t-shirt, and more. Support Lasercomb Tonight, today. So this week on Too Much Energon, we are talking about the second episode of Beast Machines, Master of the House. It originally aired on September 25th, 1999.
Oh, shit. The hypest of years, folks.
A year that Prince prophesized we should all be partying like.
Yep. And he was right.
Also a great year for film.
Yeah.
Lots of great movies came out in 1999.
Oh, let's shoot some off.
The Matrix.
The Matrix obviously was the first thing I was going to
Yeah.
bring up.
Fight Club.
Fight Club was 99?
Yep.
Wow.
This one's a little more of a me choice, but Being John Malkovich. All right, fuck it. Let's look it up.
You know what? Yeah,
List of 1999 films.
we're doing it.
Yeah. We're not
I
going to hang
love
on this
Being
too
John
long,
Malkovich.
listeners, but
Listeners, if you have not watched Being John Malkovich, it is a trip.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's much more interesting than the title leads you to believe. Like when I was a teenager, I didn't get around to watching it because I'm like, man, this doesn't look interesting. And I just randomly caught it like late night on Showcase or something randomly one night, and I'm like, holy shit, this movie is crazy.
Yeah, I saw it I think on like a premium movie channel back in like 2000 when I was 15. Okay, so we got those films. We got what is it? The Blair Witch Project, The Boondock
Oh shit.
Saints, But I'm a Cheerleader, which is a movie everybody tells me I should watch.
What is it?
But I'm a Cheerleader.
Never heard of it. Weird.
Oh, really? I had heard of it even back then, but it's a movie that over the year I just never got around to. But it's
Weird.
stars Natasha Lyonne. She plays a cheerleader who is probably a lesbian, and she gets sent to like some like reorientation camp.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, and it's like it's a comedy.
Okay,
Um,
okay.
I've had a lot of LGBT friends tell me that the movie is incredibly funny and worth a watch.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I've never even heard about it.
Cruel Intentions, Dogma, Kevin Smith's Dogma,
Oh,
Existence,
Existence, right.
Galaxy Quest, The Green Mile,
Man,
Girl Interrupted.
American Pie? Or was
Yeah,
that
American.
98?
No, American Pie was 99.
We were just talking about The Mummy
Yeah, The Mummy.
a while back, yeah.
Uh,
I
Star
can't
Wars
think.
episode 1, The Phantom Menace.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, the greatest of all of them, Wing Commander and Wild Wild West.
Wild West was 99?
Yeah, yeah.
Mystery Men was 99, wasn't
Oh,
it?
I need to revisit that movie.
So do I. We should do, you know what? Maybe that should be one of our
Too much commentary.
too much commentary. I loved that when I was a kid. Like truly like loved that movie. And you know what? I bet you I'll probably still like it.
I remember liking it at the time. It's just a movie I've never gone back to for one reason or another. Anyway, on to Beast Machines. So the episode opens with our Maximal heroes like all chilling in this little like cave type thing, and they're all like in meditative poses, like especially Optimus Primal, who's straight up doing the whole like type pose, cross-legged. You are muted, good sir.
He's doing the lotus pose. Yeah.
The lotus pose, that's the name of it.
Yeah.
And so he's telling them that basically they need to figure out how to transform. And listeners, apologies, I'm dealing with some wicked allergies tonight, so I'm a little sniffly.
Too much allergies.
Yeah,
Allergon? Allergon.
too much Allergon. Allergon sounds like the name of like a medicative cream.
Yeah, I was like that sounds like a medication of some sort.
That sounds like
Allergon.
something you rub on your dick when you have a rash.
Yeah.
After
Allergon.
after a Saturday night that you cannot remember. No.
Don't believe me, just watch.
Oh Christ!
Well,
Anyway,
what's going on here? They're trying to meditate, and
they're trying to meditate, and
Optimus is like, "Well, we got animal flesh, but we're also Transformers."
yeah,
He's like, "We're neither animal nor machine, and yet both." And I'm like, Garry Primal, come on, man.
well, and even Black Arachnia is like, well, that's helpful, basically. Like she calls him out the fact that his like pseudo philosophical mumbo jumbo isn't really telling them anything.
There's strong Morpheus vibes coming from Primal right now.
Yeah, so they're neither they're not machines anymore per se. Like he even says like onboard computers and activation codes and whatnot, because Rat Trap is like basically like, come on, like shut up with all of this. Just tell us the activation code to transform.
Yeah,
And he's like, activation codes and onboard computers aren't a thing anymore. We are complete melding of organic and machine parts. So they're
yeah,
both, but also neither.
that's right. They're
They're their own.
techno-organic, baby.
Yeah, they're techno-organic.
Yeah.
And he's like, you have to tame the beast within to be able to center yourself and say, I am transformed. And he
The
does his glowy thing and then transforms into robot form.
the the Beast Within is my favorite techno-organic album.
And
If we ever start a band, we should call it techno-organic.
I think it's techno-organic. So it's
Oh,
like it's
techno-organic
yeah, it's techno and organic together, a
in one
portmanteau
word.
of those two words. So
Okay,
techno-organic.
I can jive with techno-organic. Yeah, I can jive with that. Yeah,
So
so what happens here? Cheetor does some transforming.
yeah, Cheetor and Black Arachnia. I find it funny that they just suddenly, like, now that Garry Primal has like said this, like these few words to them, like, in essence, he basically was just like, hey, the activation code is I am transformed, and they're like, oh, I am
But
transformed.
you have to have inner peace.
Yeah. So they figure it out right away and they transform, but
They
Rat
look
Trap.
fucking wicked. Like, they look so different.
I'm
Yeah.
not a big fan of Cheetor's robot form,
I'm
but
alright with it.
I like
Black
Black
Arachnius
Arachnia.
is wild.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
have a I displayed it on camera on last week's episode, but I have a action figure of Beast Machine's Black Arachnia.
But yeah,
Cheers.
you were saying Rat Trap. It's got some troubles. It's got some troubles.
Yeah, he can't get it up, so to speak.
I am transformed. I'm so transformed. Here I go. Here comes transforming.
I am so transformed, I can't believe it.
I can't believe I'm not transformed.
Yeah, so yeah, he can't he I guess he's not at peace with himself or something. But
Yeah.
yeah, he can't do it. And some weird like thing
Drill.
comes bursting through the wall. I can't remember what they're
Well,
called, but do you remember in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon, Shredder and the Foot Clan and Rocksteady and Bebop would always like show up in these like drill things?
yeah.
They would drill through and then like a door would open up on the side and like they would all come piling out.
Yeah.
That's what this thing kind of reminds me of.
Kind of, yeah. It's also kind of like the giant drill machine that comes to get Zion and the Matrix.
Or the giant drill machine in Total Recall.
I was hoping you were going to say that because that was my next joke. Come on, man. I got 5 kids to feed.
What a wild, wacky adventure that movie is.
It's a classic. You ever see the
Classic.
remake?
Nope.
It's
Did
not
I?
worth seeing. No, it
Okay.
really isn't. It's a very lifeless film.
That's kind of what I got from the trailer. I was like, I'm okay.
It's from the director of the Underworld movies. I can't remember what his name is now, but
Ooh,
he
I'm
also
a
directed
big.
Live Free or Die Hard, the fourth Die Hard movie that had like Justin Long and Timothy Olyphant in it.
Never watched that one either.
It's fine. He makes these very like sterile, lifeless films though.
That is a nice way of describing Underworld. And I'm a fan of werewolves and vampires, so that hurts me to say, but holy balls is that a dry, lifeless movie.
Yep.
And apparently there's like 4 of them.
I think there are 5 of them actually.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so Optimus does his like I am transformed thing against the like I keep wanting to call it the Technodrome in my head, even though that isn't that like drill thing from TMNT. But whatever. So he transforms and like the thing shoots at him, and he has these like energy shields that are generated from his forearms.
I was gonna ask, so he can absorb it looks like he can what happens is he absorbs energy and then he can shoot it back. Is that what's happening?
Yeah, that's kind of what it looks like.
Yeah. Pretty useful. They could
Yeah.
have used that back on planet Energon.
Yeah. Especially after leaving Planet Energon, which we'll get into later on in this episode, because apparently things didn't go so great for them after they left.
Yeah, I'm curious about that. So what do? They
So
abandon
yeah,
ship?
so Optimus basically tells them that they need to go out and explore, and Cheetor's like, all right, exploring, and he's like, no, we need to find a new base to continue our training. And he's like, no, we gotta go like explore and find out what happened to Cybertron and find our friends.
Yeah, even Black Arachnia's like, we need to see if we have allies out there.
Yeah, and Optimus like puts his gorilla foot down and is like,
He's like, no, our
no,
safety and training is most important, damn it.
yeah, listen to me, you stupid child. And so
Yeah, so Cheetor goes with Primal and Rat Trap goes with Primal, and Cheetor and Black Arachnia go off together, and Cheetor looks like a sad kitty.
yeah, uh they find they happen across like a hole, a tunnel
Speaking of
like leading.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, they're in the sewers,
Right, yeah, they're in the sewer.
and there's like a tunnel that leads up to the like a manhole.
Yeah. Yeah, it leads directly to the surface, and Black Arachne is like, "Let's go explore up here." And Cheetor is basically like, "Oh, but Garry Primal told us to that we had to go look for a base."
Dad
And
told
she's
us not to.
and that we had to go look for a base, and she's like, "Yeah, he told us to go look for a base. He didn't specify where." That's
Technically true.
technically true.
The best kind of true. I mean, he did say, "Do not go to the surface," so I feel like she's mashing words, but
Speaking of technicalities, there is a birthday card that I see every morning at work, because the little like card spinner rack is like right by the entrance. So when I'm doing
right.
like my stupid like doorman duty
Mhm.
every morning, I see this fucking card every day, and what it says on it is, the best thing about your birthday is that you are one uh Oh, what does it say? The best thing about your birthday is that you are 1 day older than you were yesterday. And I'm like, that is literally true any day of the year. What the
That's
fuck does your
every day.
birthday? That's every day. What does your birthday have to do with it? And, like, I was like, "Oh, maybe there's some, like, kinda witty follow-up inside the card." So I opened it up once, and it's no, all it says is, like, "So enjoy it like it's your last," or something like that, something stupid like that. Yeah.
Okay, cards.
Yeah. Okay, cards that probably only a friggin' boomer would find funny.
There's a lot of really bad comedy in birthday cards, particularly the Big Tens, like 30, 40, 50, 60. Like there,
Yeah.
there's some pretty cringy birthday cards.
I hate cards in general, like, I don't like birthday cards. I don't
I
really
don't
like
give
Christmas cards. I love Christmas. Don't really
you
like
love
Christmas
Christmas.
cards. I do. I love Christmas quite a bit. There might
But
be a
you
special,
don't like the
Christmas
cards?
episode of Too Much Energon that I've
Or you do
already
like the
planned.
cards? Oh? Sorry, you
Yep.
were saying you did or didn't like Christmas cards?
I don't like Christmas cards because I don't really like cards in general.
Yeah, it's like, what do you do with them? Do you display them on your mantle for a while so the people that sent them to you don't feel bad? Or do you just immediately turf them?
I
I
immediately throw them away.
I don't know the etiquette.
I open them up and I'm like, "Is there money in here?" "Yes." "Yay." Toss the card. "Is there money in here?" "No." "Alright." Toss the card.
How dare you wish me best wishes?
I mean, I generally appreciate the sentiment, but
Sometimes there's like drawings or art that a couple particular friends will do, and then I'm like, oh well, they made something, so I'll keep that.
yeah, yeah.
But most of the time, if it's just like "Merry Christmas," blah blah blah, and then your aunt's name, and then XOXO, I'm like, what am I gonna do with this?
Well, if,
My
like,
aunt,
I don't know, if, like, my niece or my nephews made me made me some kind of card for
yeah, if they
some
made you a
occasion.
card,
They
yeah,
made me a card. They never have. Probably never will, but if they
the
did, I
ones
would be
I
like, "Oh, that's cute."
the
And
ones
that
I
one I
keep
would
are the
keep.
ones that are made.
Yeah. You know,
Uh,
my ex, Kelly, made me a card once.
oh,
Yeah. I
oh,
think it was for my birthday or something. But
this is going back.
yeah, going back, like, to to a time before time. Um, and, yeah, so she, like, made me a card, but it wasn't even, like, a high quality one, like, it looked like something someone in, like, grade 2 would make. It was so weird. I was like, "Oh, thank you."
Pencil
Eh,
crayons and
yeah, pretty much. It wasn't much of a step above that.
it's the thought that counts. Or is it?
Well, whenever you figure it out, let me know. Anyway, so Cheetor and Black Arachnia get to the surface and uh they're like looking they happen across like what's the name of this city again? Like Cybertronia or something like that.
Cy Cybertronia? Yeah.
And Cheetor mentions that it's like the biggest city on Cybertron and I'm like, "Hold up. Shouldn't it be Iacon City?"
Oh,
Cuz that's what
yeah.
'cause, Iacon in, G1 was, like, the main, like, city on Cybertron.
Yeah. Oh, well,
It
maybe that's the capital, but it's not the biggest city.
it's also been over 4,000,000 years, so who knows?
Who knows? Maybe different life forms live on this planet. It's been a
Yeah,
long time.
it's been a long time. And
Maybe more advanced life forms.
apparently this city had, like, 10,000,000 Transformers living in it, according to Cheetor, but, it's pretty empty
Right.
now.
Yeah, so there's a mystery going on, and now there's not a lot that happens this episode that's very interesting. There's like a lot of fighting robots, which I'm
Yeah.
already kind of getting bored of. So I'm a little bit afraid of what future episodes will be. It's this episode saved by other things, right? But like I'm like, oh man, is every episode gonna be like fighting like goons, like tons of
Drones.
robots and goons?
Um,
But there's some
wait.
mysteries going on here, and I dig it.
If you want them to fight more than just mindless drones in this show, just wait until next week
Okay, cool.
because that gets addressed.
I do like that they're like it's like a ghost town when they're walking around and they're on like a freeway and they're just like chatting with each other. It's a bizarre scene to be in this like huge giant city and like nothing's going on. Dystopian,
Yeah,
dystopian cyberpunk.
yeah, it's kind of haunting in a way. But
Yeah, and the lighting's I like it because these two don't really like get to chat in Beast Wars. And well, except when like Cheetor's being weird and creepy and like accidentally tripping and leaning on her.
I was gonna
But
say, except for that like weird, like brief subplot in season 3 where like Cheetor hit puberty and suddenly got like really thirsty for Black Arachnia.
yeah, and his bad boy face came out, but then like the writers quickly dropped
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. The show kind of forgot about it within like a couple of weeks.
Yeah, so I'm
Uh,
kind of digging that I like them getting along, you know?
yeah, yeah.
So
Um,
they end up finding like a terminal, like a big old 3D terminal on this bridge.
yeah, and Black Arachnia like figures out that there's no one in the city. The city's completely abandoned.
And the archives are deleted.
Yeah. Some
I really like Cheetor, how they animate Cheetor's face when he's in his beast mode, because it's very cat-like, like much more cat-like in this than it was in Beast Wars.
yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah,
So
he's very cute. Uh-oh, mindless
that
robots are attacking.
that's what I keep trying to get to. So some Viacon jets show up, and what I do kind of dig about these things is their design is kind of reminiscent of Cyclonus from Transformers the movie.
That's who that is. Yeah, they're very Harrier jet-ish.
Well, and like the design of their wings instead of going back, they kind of go back and then like go forward.
Like a video sci-fi kind of like more of a sci-fi design, yeah.
Yeah, look up a picture of Cyclonus and then check these guys out. The design's a little reminiscent. Cyclonus,
I
transform and
remember
attack.
this guy. And I was like, who is this? Megatron Light? Yeah.
I have a pretty rad figure of him from the War for Cybertron Kingdom line.
Oh, he was one of the people Unicron changed,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, he was with
He was with Galvatron.
Megatron and Galvatron, yeah.
Yeah, Galvatron flies him around, or yeah, Galvatron flies him around in a lot in
Right.
that movie.
Right, he's in yeah, okay. Yeah, actually that is a cool design. I like Cyclonus's design. Oh, I see what you mean. They're a little bit like they're the wings moving forward are reminiscent, yeah.
Yeah,
So what do
and
they
like
get
the
up to? They get
nose.
up to some fighting?
Yeah, they get up to some fighting.
Some Matrix music plays.
Yep, they
Black
get knocked.
Arachnia catches a couple in her web.
Yeah, they get blown off of the like bridge that they were on, and then go like sliding down, and they run away as they're being shot at.
Eventually though, Garry Primal shows up to fire energy discs out of his chest.
Yep,
Yeah, okay.
yep. He's pulling the old depth charge maneuver there.
Yeah. And so they're all fighting the good fight, and Rat Trap ends up in a tube somehow.
It's just a fight. Like there's
It's just a
not
fight.
really there's not really a lot to go over. They
Yeah, the
battle.
other two can
They
transform,
win.
but not Rat Trap.
Yeah, they battle. They win.
It's cool. It's great choreography, but like, watch it. We can't. It's like describing a kung fu movie, right? Oh,
Yeah,
and like he does Jet Li things, and it's really cool. And then he kicks him in the neck, but like he kicks him in like a karate way, and then he like jumps up and he like punches another. It doesn't work.
yeah.
It's
No, it's
very cool, people. So this is
yeah,
the part where we just say like insert cool fight scene here, and then we got to move on.
yeah. Cheetor has a couple of like curved
Oh,
swords that are
that
pretty
scene
cool.
went on way too much. It spends, I shit you not, listeners, like 60 seconds showing Cheetor like deflecting laser blasts up close with like two scimitars.
Yeah,
Like he's deflecting energy blasts with them, but like the scene is really long. And I'm like, I get it, it's cool, but like he's not doing anything else.
yeah,
Anyways, they win.
yeah. They win. And they come across like
They
the
decide to go to the Capitol building.
yeah the Maximal archives, I think is what they call it.
Yes.
And it kind of looks like Mount Doom from Captain Power and the Soldiers of the Future.
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah, it's kind of what it reminds me of.
I thought you were gonna say Lord of the Rings, and I'm like, what are you talking about, dude?
Why Lord of the Rings?
Mount Doom,
Oh, right, right.
where you
Okay,
drop
so
the
listeners,
one
I am not
ring.
a Lord of the Rings person at all. Or no, fuck no, not Mount Doom. I'm an idiot. Not Mount Doom. Sorry, allergies. That's what I'm blaming it on. Mount Dread is what it's called.
I knew what you were talking about, but I had no idea what it was called.
Yeah, yeah. Mount Dread. Um, yeah, Captain Power and the Soldiers of the Future. Great show from the 80s that not a lot of people remember anymore.
I never watched.
Uh,
Only have seen Google images of.
I had the
But
toys. I had the VHS tapes because
I
the
am
toys
familiar with Captain Planet, though.
very different shows. What the fuck is my watch doing?
So what's going on here? Giant tanks come out of the archives.
What's going on is my Apple Watch keeps sending me like vibration pulses, like rapid like bursts for some reason, and I don't know why. It's not like
It,
even like displaying a notification or anything. It's weird.
it just wants to let you know that it's enjoying beast machines. It's become
Yeah,
sentient.
so they go to the Maximal archives and the Viacons are there.
Oh, they are.
Garry Primal goes in himself and goes into
He
this
goes
big
alone, but I'm not sure why. He's
I'm
like, keep them busy. I'm going in alone.
I'm not really sure why either. I think he says like it could be dangerous or something, and it's like, well, yeah,
Well,
you
then would
guys would
you
have a
want
better
everyone else
chance.
to
Yeah,
go?
you'd have a better chance if you like stuck together.
I don't understand this primal's reasoning. It could be
So
dangerous, and you guys are a liability, is what it kind of sounds like. I've saved your butts enough. Figure out how to stay transformed, losers. And he pieces out the archives.
yeah, they've I think we kind of glossed over this, but like so far the Maximals, like even though Cheetor and Black Arachnia have been able to transform, they haven't really been able to like anytime shit goes sideways, they lose concentration or whatever and then revert back to beast mode.
Yeah, and Daddy Primal's like, no, you can't let your emotions get the best of you. So it's tied in with your emotions. You're supposed to stay zen, which is weird
Mhm.
because when you're fighting bitches, you're gonna get a little hype. You're gonna get a little angry.
Yeah. Gonna get a little excited, maybe even get a
Yeah,
little horny, you know?
yeah, yeah. Gets the adrenaline flowing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's going on here? And yeah, they
Black
can't keep their
Arachnia like
form.
bends over and suddenly the Cheetor like goes back to beast mode.
I mean, I wouldn't blame him. So there's some rad scenes with like motorcycles attacking Garry Primal, but like he just monkey runs them down like
Yeah.
effortlessly, like a monster truck just rolling over a bunch of cars.
And he ends up in this big like auditorium type thing.
Yeah,
With this like as he's walking forward, there's this like cool shot of all of these platforms like suddenly appearing and connecting to the platform in
pretty
front of him.
cool.
Yeah. And
Almost the way they're spiraling up in the air before they come down and form a bridge in front of him reminds me of that one scene in Reboot with all the core programs and the windows.
oh, in painted windows, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
painted windows, yeah.
yeah, you're
A
right. It
little in
is
the way that
reminiscent of
it's
that.
just like the middle of the core has this like mystical, like weird series of platforms.
Mhm.
Oh, but they were vid windows in that. Never mind.
Well, it's I agree with you. It's reminiscent. It bears a passing resemblance.
And yeah,
Yes.
and there are lights going on in here.
And down from the ceiling comes
A weird
floating
thing.
a weird floating body.
Like on the end of a long like computer wire tentacle. There we go. Yeah, that's what it is.
I was gonna say an arm, a mechanical arm, but
But it's like spirally and it
yeah, that's
yeah.
fair. And it's connected to this dude's head, and we very quickly find out that it's our old boy Galavar.
Galavar, what have you done?
What have you done, son? I've
And
made a
indeed,
change for the better. Yes.
according to him, here's the thing. So part of me is like, what the fuck? This is wild. This is bananas. It's kind of super fucking rad. It is. If you didn't think the Matrix had to do, bleh, if you didn't think this was influenced by the Matrix at all before, this crazy like machine arm tentacle thing coming out of his like back is
Yeah, it has all of these like what almost look like mechanical fingers, like tapping on it on him, like in a rhythmic fashion.
which reminds me of like the Squiddies from Matrix. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
the Sentinels. Yeah, and he's got like a mask, but it's like a muzzle with like bars going across the front.
Yeah, and he has these two like really broad arms and seems to have what almost looks like a cloak just like draped down, covering him
Cloak
up.
and no legs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Holy shit, man! Like,
Yeah, it's pretty rad. So he basically tells Garry Primal that the Beast Wars are over. You lost.
and he's got a scar right here.
Yeah.
He's got like a scar on his like. I just noticed that. I didn't notice before.
For the audio listeners, he has a scar like over one of his eyes.
Yeah.
His right eye, I believe.
So he's just shit talking Primal here.
Yeah, and he's explaining that he basically has purged Cybertron of all individual life. He's extinguished all sparks, and he has replaced everyone on Cybertron with Viacons, which he controls personally. Sparkless transformers controlled by a singular intelligence, his.
Yeah. So he's controlling them manually.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of work.
That's what I was thinking. Unless it's like playing an RTS, right? Like he's just like grab U-50, send them down here. grab these jets, move them over here. Like he's just playing Command and Conquer. It does seem
Silos
like a lot of
needed.
work. Yeah. But he can only grab like what was it in StarCraft? He can only grab like 12 units at a time.
Unit ready. Yeah,
So
so
it's cutting back and forth between the other Maximals and this conversation.
yeah. And the Maximals are fighting the Viacon drones, and Megatron is like seemingly kind of becoming like a little discombobulated. He's getting a little frustrated, and Garry Primal is like, "Oh, it must be a lot of take a lot of concentration to focus on fighting like 4 individual Maximals or
Yeah,
something along those lines."
so there are murals. I just noticed this, by the way. There are murals that he lights up in this giant like dome that he's in, right? That shows
Yeah, I saw the murals. I thought they were supposed to be of him.
uh, huh, okay. One of them kind of looks like Master Chief. So the TLDR, the conversation here
We
is
still haven't gotten an explanation. Like we know Megatron has seemingly annihilated all life on Cybertron and is ruling it. Um, we still haven't got an
yeah.
explanation as to how that happened.
Well, he mentions a virus, doesn't he?
Yeah, he has his like the transformation lock virus.
Yeah, which is what they had, but they were able to beat it somehow.
Yeah,
Um,
through being reformatted by the Oracle.
One thing I want to point out here is he seems to express his disgust with biological parts of Transformers.
Hmm.
Like he talks about it with like disgust in his voice and that he's gotten rid of that completely. Unlike the disgusting Maximals with their monkey flesh.
Yeah. So it is kind of curious. It's like, where is this coming from? And even Garry Primal himself is like, dude, you had a beast mode too on Planet Energon.
And he's like, and what did he say? And I extinguished that disgusting part of myself.
Yeah. So what I want to know what happened to Megatron that suddenly made him like really, I don't know, like almost like Transformers Hitler.
Right? Like this pure form of pure transformer that has no biological components
Yeah.
is I'm getting very Castle Wolfenstein vibes going from Cybertron right now.
Yeah. So yeah, I just wonder how that happened. Um,
Yeah, I'm sure we'll find out.
hopefully. Um,
Yeah.
so Megatron's having a hard time like maintaining his concentration as he's directing the Viacons to fight all the Maximals outside, and then
'Cause they
Garry
like
Primal
spread out.
Garry Primal like shit talks him about that. He's basically like, "Oh, it must be hard to focus like all of this attention on all on several individual Maximals to
Yeah.
fight. That must make you mad, doesn't it? That makes you so fucking
Makes you
angry."
so mad. Makes you so mad. Oh, what's wrong? Isn't a machine good at multitasking? Huh? Huh? Isn't shouldn't you, what? You bitch? You gonna cry?
Where's your technological purity now, you fucking loser?
It's kind of how this convo goes because Megatron starts like. By the way, he had shot Primal like earlier, but then just like continued shit talking him, and they're shit talking each other. I really like seeing Primal talk shit like this.
Yeah, this is uh Gary Primal has definitely been changed by the events of this show already.
Yeah,
Uh and Megatron ends up like losing his concentration, and he like rages out and falls
feels
out
still ruled.
of this like weird thing that he's like connected to. And transforms
I'm
into his
confused
dragon
about
form.
that. He falls out of his like cloak and computer tentacle,
Yeah.
but falls out as his dragon form.
Yeah. So basically this
All of the
thing,
cables, like Bane, like the cables coming out of Bane, they like pull out of his head.
so it's
And
basically like a shoulder piece, mechanical arms with like a cape hanging down, and like a like headpiece with like a grill on it that's
and
connected to
his head slides up into it, and he
yeah.
yeah,
So
like a
yeah,
mech suit.
so he falls out of it and yeah, goes into dragon form.
And when
My
he
quest
falls out, he screams no, and all of the Viacons chasing the Maximals just short circuit and stop moving.
So he's in his dragon form from the end of Beast Wars, but his skin is very patchy.
Yeah.
It looks like he's been like, and he mentioned that he had purged like the beast form from him. It looks like he'd been actually done some like shit to himself to like try and get rid of it. If you look at like
Uh,
what if you look at like all the like patchwork and shit on his dragon form, it looks like he was doing some self experimentation. It's kind of the impression that I get.
yeah, because he's unlike the other like the Maximals we've seen. It's you know how like Terminators have like fake like humany flesh over top of their like robot
Living tissue over metal endoskeleton.
endoskeleton. Thank you. I'm like, why can I remember the word exoskeleton but not what we have?
Yeah,
um I'm getting vibes that he's either like pulling that off or replacing it, like you said.
yeah. When we first saw them at the beginning of the last episode, were in their season 1 forms. And I wonder if the transformation lock virus had something to do with that. It like reverted them back to their original beast forms. I don't know.
Huh.
I'm sure we will never get an answer to that question. No.
All of these questions and more.
None of these questions and more will be answered on Too Much Energon.
Oh, so what happens? They shit talk each other for a little bit, and he ends up transforming and jumping back into his lawnmower man machine,
Into his yeah, I don't even
his
know what the
VR
fuck
rig,
yeah, I don't even know what the fuck you would call that.
his mech suit.
This is
His-
like Matrix meets Borg type shit.
yeah, it's
And like his whole thing about like a singular like ruling consciousness and whatnot. Like I
very
kind of get
Borg.
Borg vibes from that. Although for them it's more a collective consciousness. It's like all
Yeah,
of their consciousnesses like merge to join the collective. So
yeah, we are the Borg. Yeah,
they function as one, whereas this is like no, Megatron is just controlling everyone.
yeah, literally manually because as soon as he was unplugged, they just died.
Sounds like a very lonely existence.
Yeah, it's just like you wanted this,
Yeah.
and I feel like Beast Wars Megatron wanted to win the Beast Wars once and for all, but this how is this isn't winning. This is
This
sad.
isn't really ruling Cybertron per se.
If you're not ruling, and he's probably bullshitting because there's a back and forth, and Primal gets really angry, can't stay in his robot mode, and transforms back into his gorilla mode. Um, but he's demanding to know where the sparks are, where the Cybertronians are. But Megatron insists that he's killed like everyone, and I'm like, man, that is bleak. Like, what is he ruling over?
Yeah, he literally says billions of sparks.
Yeah, So
Yeah.
what, like you said, what's he ruling over? A bunch of sparkless, like, vehicons.
Yeah, it's like ruling over your Xbox and your coffee maker.
I mean,
Like,
that's technically true, but
yeah, it's technically true, but it's not terribly satisfying.
no.
Those are nice things to have around, but like,
They're
uh,
nice things to have, but fulfillment they do not bring.
no.
Yeah, so I I'm digging it. Like I said, there's a lot of just boring, like, fighty scenes, but, like, holy shit, is this exchange? This is really unique. Like, this is fucking weird, man. This is wild.
Yeah, and this I feel like this back and forth like has a lot more emotional nuance to it than anything we saw in Beast Wars.
It does. It
Yeah.
it there's a lot of shit going on.
Yeah.
And we've
So
also never seen either of them that emotional, I would argue.
yeah.
So seeing the voice actors deliver the lines and getting that emotional, it's like, holy shit. Like this this is a very different show.
It is, yeah.
So the whole team is here to see Megatron, and he shoots energy blasts out of his hand.
Yeah, and Megatron does this weird, like, during their, like, shit talk, Megatron does this weird, like, gaslighting thing to Optimus Primal, basically telling him that because you lost the Beast Wars, I came back to Cybertron and killed everyone. Therefore, it's your fault they're all dead.
They're all
Cheers.
dead because of you, bitch.
Yeah.
How does it feel? Is that what gets him to transform back?
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, it's not true. Fuck you, dude.
That's some weird logic, and we'll find out later in the episode that uh Garry Primal actually like takes that to heart.
Yeah, he's like, I caused this, so I need to fix it.
And it's like, no, dude, it's not your fault. Like,
And I mean, they could have just executed Megatron, but that's not what the good guys do.
yeah,
It's not his fault. You're not responsible for the actions of others.
yeah.
Yeah, so they pull a Star Wars and they, like, escape through the garbage hatch. Like, actually.
Shut down all garbage mashers on the detention level.
And they're all, the others are, like, pulling him because he wants to stay and fight.
Yeah. Um, wow, I didn't
They
realize we
disappear
were
down
that far ahead.
the garbage chute, and we hear Garry Primal yell Megatron before they disappear down the chute. Also, Megatron's eyes are, like, bloodshot and purple and red. Like, this is a very different Megatron.
Yeah, and his he has much more pronounced corneas and irises
Yeah,
than he did in Beast Wars.
definitely.
I I like the look of Megatron in this show.
I so do I. I wasn't expecting to. I was like, oh god, let's see what he looks like, and I don't know. It's like I thought the Matrix was the peak of, like, dystopian sci-fi, like, but I guess it's Beast Machines.
You heard it here, folks. Beast Machines, peak of dystopian sci-fi.
Prove me wrong. All of
Yeah,
Cybertron's dead.
Cybertron's dead, and it's Garry Primal's fault. At
Yeah.
least that's what he thinks. And yeah, that's the episode ends with a shot of Mount
Oh,
Dread with a like transparent like giant version of Megatron over it. Like I don't know. Does he laugh? I can't remember.
looming over it,
Oh,
going.
yeah, looming over it, like laughing,
Yeah.
like. um, one thing I will say I was kind of disappointed about is that Megatron doesn't say "cheers" all the time anymore.
Did he even say it once?
No, he didn't. I've watched the next episode, and I think he says it once. He does it once in the next episode, but in general, I don't remember him doing it very often in the show.
I don't think they overdid it in Beast Wars. As a kid, I remember them overdoing it, but I don't think they overdid it. Now that we're doing too much Energon, I'm like, no, they didn't overdo it. So
It's fun,
they
and I
toned
mean
it down for some reason.
they
It's
did.
fine.
Well, and I mean, like Megatron in Beast Wars was very like flamboyant and like Shakespearean and
Oh, he's
very
very poetic.
very theatrical, whereas this Megatron is more like Space Hitler.
Yeah.
So
And he didn't just shoot Primal. He wanted to like let him know that everyone was dead and that it was his fault and there's nothing he could do about it. Like he wanted to demoralize him more
Yeah.
than destroy him.
Yeah.
Because he just kind of hangs out. They just hang out and talk.
Yeah, so that was the second episode of Beast Machines. Here on Too Much Energon, we rate episodes of Beast Wars, issues of the Beast Wars comic, and Japanese Beast Wars movies, and episodes of Beast Machines on the Too Much Energon scale.
That's right.
Which ranges from not enough Energon to a sufficient amount of Energon to too much Energon. It's basically bad, okay, good.
Yeah. It's a simple ranking system.
Yep. NeoCal, what are you giving Master of the House?
Boy, oh boy, did the second half of this episode save the first half.
Yeah.
And while I was watching it, I was like, oof, I'm not feeling this one. Oh, the interaction at the end, I was not expecting that out of Beast Wars or Beast Machines. Holy shit. This is there's existential dread. There's man, it's heavy. So it gets too much Energon. It's too much Energon, folks. It's just because of the last like 5-10 minutes. It's wild.
I'm gonna echo your sentiment. Although I think I enjoyed the first half of the episode more than you did, by the sounds of it. Yeah, I didn't really have any issues with it.
It wasn't bad. Yeah, they discover things and thus let the viewer know what's going on. When they're walking around, we get chit chat between Black Arachnia and Cheetor, and they're like, "Why are the archives deleted?" And that seemed to actually like offend Black Arachnia. And we had kind of like our head canon, Too Much Energon canon, that she was like a librarian or like a scientist or an archivist or something.
She was a historian.
Historian, yeah. So I kind of like that when she's like, "What? The archives are deleted," right? Like she seemed like personally offended by that.
Yeah.
So my headcanon that she's a historian was supported with that. And I kind of like that they're letting the little story with Rat Trap. That there's something preventing him from achieving inner peace. And they haven't shown his transformed I am transformed form yet. So I think it's other than season 1, I think episode 1 and 2 of this are better written than a lot of the second and third seasons of Beast Wars.
I completely agree. Controversial opinion, folks.
I was like, uh-oh.
Especially amongst a lot of the more hardcore petition signing, if you will, Beast Wars fans. A lot of them
Beast Wars is more iconic and better remembered. Like, I didn't even watch Beast Machines when I was a kid. So I'm like,
you are transformed.
I am transformed. I like Beast Machines. I'm digging this.
Yeah, I'm also giving this episode a Too Much Energon.
Too much Energon from both of us.
Too much Energon from both of us. I think that interaction in the in Megatron's big auditorium of evil. I think that's what I'm going to call it now. The Auditorium of Evil.
That's wild and wacky and creative and emotional and scary.
Yeah. I think their interaction is probably it's the most like nuanced character interaction of this entire this series. We're only 2 episodes in, but even in Beast Wars.
Honestly, yes. That single interaction is heavier than anything in Beast Wars. I've actually rewatched just that scene, the last 10 minutes, like 3 or 4 times. It's nuts. Like he wants to like mentally destroy Primal more than he wants to like he could just blow him up. He shoots like red and black like um what null energy.
Yeah,
We
there
also
you go.
review War Planets, Shadow Raiders, folks. He shoots like null energy, but he doesn't shoot it at Primal. He just like knocks him off a ledge at one point and then continues the shit talking.
Yeah.
So I dig it.
I dig it.
And
I dig it as
also
well. Cheers.
It's showing us that he lies. He said that he purged all of like the organic disgusting beast part of him long ago. And then when Primal gets a reaction out of him, he falls out of the thing because he transforms into a dragon. So we know he's a liar now.
Yeah.
So he's very different than the Galavar we once knew.
And
he's a filthy liar.
Yeah, and I mentioned this already, but I think the fact that he's been like, by the looks of it, has been like trying to graft like metallic parts like over his like fleshy skin bits, like that's kind of cool. It's very like mad scientist, but
it is mad scientist.
It's pretty cool. So that has been episode 52 of Too Much Energon. Best way to support the show, whatever you're listening to or watching this on, give it a like, give it a subscribe, give it a 5-star rating. Anything helps us out with discoverability. You can also subscribe to the Patreon, patreon.com/lasercomb, LAZORCOMB. Starting at a mere $5 per month, you get a whole literal hours every week of bonus preamble audio where we shoot the shit. If you also want to hear spoilers about plans for like future episodes or future podcasts, like that's usually where we talk about it. So if you want
there's no secrets if you listen to the preamble, you know exactly what shows we're gonna make.
What's coming up, yeah. So it's a little peek behind the curtain, if you will. $10 and up, you get our weekly dumb news segment, Lasercomb Tonight, and Too Much Galavar, which we already mentioned, where we review the IDW Beast Wars comic book. There's also a $25 tier that gets you a whole bunch of other cool stuff. So go and check it out, patreon.com/lasercomb. Check out Lasercomb on Facebook, facebook.com/lasercomb. It's the central Facebook hub for every podcast that we do. There's also a Too Much Energon specific Facebook page, facebook.com/Too Much Energon. And you can follow me on Instagram at Lasercomb, spelled the same way. And you can follow the show at Too Much Energon. And Cal, you also have...
Yeah, you could follow me at Neo_Cal, KAL.
We have other shows we do. We have a reboot podcast where we and a couple of other people do this, but we talk about another mainframe show from around this time, Reboot. Alphanumeric. It's currently on hiatus right now, but there are 40 episodes of that available. So
you've got episodes.
You have at least 100 hours worth of reboot content there to listen to. I have a show with my partner called Based On, where we talk about movies based on books and the books that they're based on. Very soon, there is going to be an episode going live where we talk about the short story 310 to Yuma and the 2 films that were made based on it. So check that out.
There were 2?
Yep, there was a movie that came out in 1957 and a movie that came out in 2007. The movie is much more of a remake of the 57 film than it is a new adaptation of the original story.
Oh, I think I've seen that. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, both very good movies.
It's 310 to Yuma is the time of a train leaving.
Yep.
Right.
Short story is great. It's only like 30 pages. Highly recommended. It's one of the most riveting things I've ever read.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's shockingly exciting for a
All right.
30-page short story written in 1953.
Rad.
I ended up appearing recently on another podcast. It's actually
That's
one
right.
of my favorite podcasts called Canceled Too Soon, hosted by film critics William Bibiani and Whitney Seibold. If you watch the movie Trivia Schmodown on YouTube, then you have no doubt seen or heard of them before because they appear on that a lot. But they have a show called Canceled Too Soon where they review TV shows that lasted 1 season or less. I was on their latest episode, episode 215 of Canceled Too Soon, where we talked about the failed 1994 G.I. Joe spin-off pilot, Sergeant Savage and his Screaming Eagles. Something I have a lot of nostalgia for, but if you want to know what I actually think about it, go check that out. Look them up. The critically acclaimed network on whatever your podcast service of choice is. Cancel Too Soon, episode 215. We will be back next week with the 3rd episode of Beast Machines Fires of the Past. It's the only episode on disc 1 of the DVD, the Beast Machines DVD, that actually has a commentary track. So
Really?
that should tell you that it's an important episode. I might actually watch it with the commentary. Might watch it and then watch it with the commentary track.
Oh, okay.
Just to get
Wild.
some
I'm
insight
excited.
into the episode to talk about it.
Do you know
next
who
week.
does the commentary?
I think it might be the writer of the episode, Marv Wolfman.
Okay.
Whom I've talked about on this show before. He wrote a few episodes of Beast Wars, and he wrote some episodes of Reboot, and probably most notably, he's the creator of Blade for Marvel Comics.
That's why I know the name. Damn it. I always forget. As soon as you remind me, I'm like, oh, that right. Okay, yeah. All the pieces come together. Yeah.
Yeah. So stay tuned for that. That'll be episode 53 of Too Much Energon. It's getting kind of late, so we're gonna get out of here. I've been one of your hosts, Christopher Siege.
And I'm your other host, NeoCal.
And until next week,
I am transformed. I am super transformed. I am so transformed.
I am so freaking transformed, I can't believe it. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Beast Wars!